It's all right, you can see it. How to Get Away with Murder. 14, the season finale. Did you see Scandal? No, because they had this on for 2 hours. All right, so Wes thinks about his conversation with Laura. That's how it's opening. And then thinking maybe, okay, it might have killed Lila. All right, so Rebecca, when she finally sees Wes, scolds him because he didn't pick up his phone. You know, he was plotting against her, really. But then there's a flashback 5 months earlier. Lila is arguing with Rebecca, and Lila says that her parents raised her better than Rebecca. She calls Rebecca a drug-ridden slut. And Rebecca goes to bed with Griffin, and then she calls Lila in order for Lila to come over and catch her with Griffin. See how these men are? I'm just trying to prove a point to you. So mean, I thought that was. But anyway, so of course Lila comes in, and like most women, Lila gets upset with the man, with Griffin, when really, you know, Rebecca was conniving the whole thing, but they're both really at fault because they're her friends, right, allegedly. In another scene, Oliver insists that Connor gets an AIDS test and appears to be positive. Professor Keaton then defends a priest who killed another priest, okay? That's the secondary line, parallel line that's going around at this time, okay? So the legal eagles then confront Rebecca, accusing her of killing Lila. Rebecca refuses to confess, so they put her in the basement and they duct tape her mouth and wrists. And then Professor Keaton and Elise arrives home, and she pretends to be shocked, you know, at seeing Rebecca in her basement all tied up with the duct tape and things like that. She tells them, "We're not monsters." This is what she says, right? A lot of people might disagree with her, but this is what she's saying. Untie her. Take that duct tape off of her. Don't keep her all tied up like that. All right. So then they untie her because it looks like they were keeping her as a hostage, right? Like, what are we going to do with her? Should we kill her also? That was the sinister nature of this whole thing. All right. So they try to get Rebecca to talk about what she knows and what really happened. Of course, Rebecca doesn't cooperate. Professor Keaton then looks at Wes. Be a man, make her talk, you know, that kind of stuff. It doesn't matter. Rebecca's a strong old, Rebecca's very strong and determined. The legal eagles leave out of that room. And before you know it, okay, Professor Keaton is calling Rebecca, Rebecca. And when the legal eagles come back into the room and go outside, everybody's looking for Rebecca. Nobody can find Rebecca. And Professor Keaton lets them believe, or leads them to believe, that maybe she ran away, you know, away from them because maybe she was afraid they were going to kill her or whatever. And she lets it stay like that for a reason that we'll all find out at the end. At this point, we see a series of flashbacks. One shows Lila approaching Professor Keaton. She's at her door when Bonnie comes and says, "Get away or I'll call the police," because Lila wants to tell Professor Keaton that she's pregnant with Sam's baby, and Bonnie wants no part of it. You've seen this scene before. It was a flashback on another episode, so we've seen that before. All right, so Bonnie threatens to call the police. Lila leaves. You know, she's afraid and everything. Then there's another flashback scene, but now we're at the murder scene. We're in front of the infamous water tank, and Sam is professing his love to Lila in order to pacify her because she's saying that she wants to keep the baby. He's tried to get her to get an abortion. She's not having it. She says it's against her religion and all these kind of things. And then he starts to see all these lovely things, how he loves her. He doesn't love Professor Keaton. He'll tell Professor Keaton, "Look, I don't love you anymore. I'm going to leave you for Lila." You know, he starts telling her what a lot of men do to the mistress, you know, telling all kind of things to pacify her. And it reminds all of us film buffs of a film moment. It's reminiscent of a film entitled A Kiss Before Dying, you know, where the man is leading the mistress on, you know, or not even the mistress, but leading women on to the point where they just believe anything he says, right? In A Kiss Before Dying, you have the man telling this woman all the things she wants to hear, knowing that he's going to kill her or that he's going to murder her, that it's impending. So that's that little tension there. It's a really good scene because you know that Sam is lying. We all know what happened. It's told as a flashback, so you kind of know what's happening. But anyway, so Sam then leaves her there in front of the water tank after he makes her feel like, you know, he's going to marry her and make everything all right. And then he calls Frank says to Frank, I need you to do me that favor. And you assume the favor is to kill somebody for him. So Sam then instructs Frank to kill Lila. Okay. Frank kills Lila. She goes in a water tank. And that's that. Frank is the one. The episode closes with Rebecca, again, tied up. She's on the floor. This time her eyes are open. You don't know if she's dead or alive. Frank's standing over her body. Her eyes are open. Like I said, we don't know if she's dead or alive. But Professor Keaton joins them. And Frank asks Professor Keaton, what are we going to do with her? All right. So did you guys enjoy the first season? Let me know. It's already been renewed for the second season. So, we'll see what's going to happen then. God bless. Until we meet again, it's Renee Stanley for Movie Review Relay. God bless.